Um, okay, good day, guys. Today we'll go on some another kind of question. Right now, let's type. Let's try to convert. Okay, by using Python, let's try to convert the temperatures to and fro. That is from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So let's give an example of this. Let's try to convert between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I hope my spelling is right. Okay, it's not right. Get to correct that later. Okay, the normal formula for Celsius should be, I think it's C equal to into brackets F minus 32, okay, times 5 over 9. While that's for the centigrade, sorry, Fahrenheit is into brackets C times 9 over 5, okay, then plus 32. Okay, so the first approach to solving this is, okay, at first we'll take a user input to ask the temperature that is maybe in Fahrenheit or in centigrade. So let's do that. Then after that is taken in, we'll extract the two parts, that is the numerical part and the unit part. And after the extraction is done, then we'll create a conditional block, that is, if the extracted part, the unit part, is centigrade, then we'll solve for what, the conversion from centigrade into Fahrenheit. While if the extracted unit part is Fahrenheit, then we'll solve for conversion for Fahrenheit to centigrade. So at first, let's start with the user input, which is the temperature. Let's use temp as the short form. Temperature equals to input function for, let's ask the user to enter the details. So now we say enter temperature, e.g. let's say 5F, okay, or 100 centigrade. Now one thing you notice is the user might need to enter maybe in a short, there's a capital case or a small case, so we'll sort that out as we go along, so there won't be an error. Now the next part is, once this has been collected, it's stored in temperature, then now do the separation. So let's separate the value. Let's take in the numerical part. Okay, so take the numerical part, so let's call that the degree. We cast that as an integer, then so let's use a list slicing method to okay, it's the list slicing method that to give us from the first part to this second to the last part, which is the -1. So the list slicing method here is telling us that it will take it from the beginning, very beginning, to the next part, okay, the second to the last part of the entry, which is going to exclude the unit part. So this is taking the numerical part and we're storing it at a degree. Now we're going to go to the next area, which is the unit area. Okay, let's tell the unit now, store it as a unit object. So we take this and then let's use our list slicing as well. This time around, we use the -1, which is going to specifically extract the last part of the, okay, it's like we are taking it from the back, okay, from the rear end. So we are taking the rear end now, which is -1. So when we take the rear end, we are going to take the, the unit part alone. So we're storing this as our object unit, which is a variable here. Now we go and see, okay, using the conditional statement, that is, if the entry, okay, the entry for the unit part is a C or a F. So we go this way, that is, if unit is, can see we are having a double equal. Is C is a C. So now what we have here is a capital. If I have a small case, this is a small c, but how we're using capital. So what if the user enters a small c? We need to sort that out by putting this using an object, a string object of upper method. Okay, so upper method now is going to actually convert whatever entry is taken to an uppercase. Okay, so if the user entered a c, a small c, for instance, as part of this numeric, for instance, maybe user entered, let's say something like 12 on a small c. Okay, so what we're going to be having here is that this unit now will actually be converted to a capital C. So we are going to have a capital C instead of a small c, okay, by using this upper method. Fine, so now it's going to tell us now. So once that is seen as a capital C, then the next thing to do is, then we run this block of code. That is, we are going to run the conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So let's complete that by creating a new variable, and then a variable should be equal to the formula, okay, for the conversion. Now the formula for this conversion is E given as that is, let's put it, copy and paste. That's F okay, so we have F minus 32. Okay, let's come again. If this is a capital, if this is a centigrade, then we need to convert, because we have the centigrade. Okay, we have the centigrade now, which is which we need to convert to Fahrenheit. So what values are we going to be entering here? We're going to be entering the Fahrenheit. Okay, all right, we are going to be entering the Fahrenheit, and we should be using this one instead. Okay, so we don't have the Fahrenheit value, so we need to enter the one. Okay, so this is what we need to enter. So we're going to be entering the centigrade times 9 divided by 5, and then plus, sorry, then okay, minus 32 plus 32. I think this is the correct formula. So this is what we're going to enter now. So we have plus 32, not minus 32. All right, so this is actually what we're going to be having. So the C now will be passed into this formula. Okay, then multiply by 9, then afterwards divided by 5. So whatever we have now, we'll add to 32. So after having 32, then we actually cast that as an integer. Okay, so we cast that as an integer. Then the value will be stored. The value will be stored inside our result. So first of all, let's see what we are going to have. Print that as a result. Print result. So what do we have? So let's check this code now to see the outcome. Should ask a question. Alright, enter temperature, e.g. 5F or 100 C. So now we want to actually convert from centigrade to Fahrenheit. So let's enter 50 C. Alright, so it says C is not defined on line 6. C is not defined. Let's see where the error came from. Okay, let's change this to unit, since what we have here is let's change this to degree, since what we have here is degree. We are not supposed to use C, so change this to degree. Okay, so let's run that again. Okay, so 50 C. Fine, so we have an answer here which gives us 122. Okay, so that means this upper part of this code is correct. So now let's move on. Now we don't just want to have it as a numerical figure. What we need to also have the the converted unit, appended to that result as well. So let's also create something of that will show us the output of the unit. Out unit. Let's create an out unit object. So let's call that the Fahrenheit. So the Fahrenheit is a string. Fahrenheit, that's a string. Now we'll comment this out since we don't need it right now. Now Elif the unit. What if the unit is a Fahrenheit? That is F. If F was entered upper, so let's convert that to an uppercase. Okay, if it is F, what if we enter F? Okay, so we run this block of code, which is going to be under our F. So now what we have is the result printed. The result that we're going to have is okay. Result we're going to have is int. So we're going to pass in this formula, all right, for the conversion of Fahrenheit, okay, of Fahrenheit to centigrade. So what now we have is F minus 32, okay, times 5/9. So let's put that inside this parentheses. Then we have it here. So our F here is actually going to be our value for degree. So let's change the F to degree. Degree is okay. So now our degree now is a value entered by the user. So degree minus 32 times 5/9. Then once that is sorted, then we have it casted as an integer and stored in our results variable. So after that is done, then let's create our out unit for this should be, which is to be centigrade. Okay, so let's keep centigrade. Fine. Now after that is done, let's now create the output in a good format. That is, we're going to have unit printed out together with the value which the user has entered. Okay, all right, so the value that is has been calculated from what the user entered, then alongside with the unit. So that's what we're going to be putting in the plain format. So let's do that. So we have a print statement, which is this. Then let's put we can use the comma or the formatting method. So if you use the formatting method, start with F, then you say the converted temperature, okay, from user is the converted temperature from user is. So what do we have now? We have result. Let's put results in formatting placeholder result, and then let's add the unit, which is also which should also be in our formatting placeholder. Let's put that out unit. Okay, so fine. Now let's check this and run. I would have sat in class with my baby. So enter temperature 5 or 100. So let's try and enter 60 Fahrenheit. So we have the answers. Converted temperature from user is 15 centigrade. Good. What if the user entered something of 60 centigrade? You can see I'm using a small case now. Enter. So we have converted temperature from user is 140 Fahrenheit. So that is sorted out. So what if the user didn't enter, what we expect him to do? So we create an else block, which is print. Okay. there's a code inside the else block, which is the inputs. Let's pass the message to the user that inputs wrongly entered. Okay, input wrongly entered, or input was wrongly entered. Input was wrongly entered, and then that's all. So if you run that, you did not put the unit. Let's say you entered just the numerical value and then entered. So that's the error code you have. Input was wrongly entered. So that's for that. So in the next video, we're going to be having another example using the while loop.